I'll tell you who's the real deal. Moses Itama. Do you know who that motherfucker is?
The giant,
that 20-year-old heavyweight.
Oh yes.
Bro.
Yeah,
Did you see what he did to Dillian Whyte?
Yes, he's a problem.
Bro.
Yes.
He's a problem.
Yeah.
That guy's
Is he only
real
20?
problem. 20 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just slightly older than Tyson was when he won the title, so he can't be the youngest guy to ever win the title.
Damn.
This motherfucker is so fast. He moves like a middleweight.
I know.
Here's Itama.
Look at that.
Watch this
Look
guy.
at that.
It's great for what he do, his skills and his power and his attribute and he's smart.
Yeah.
He's definitely smart. He can box his ass off.
That is a bad dude. You hear me? That is a bad dude. You understand me? They don't give him credit because we don't see him that much.
I know we're in the same weight class. I know we can fight each other, but when it comes to Moses, I enjoy watching him.
He just seems to dominate throughout. Sharp, accurate, doesn't waste any.
Yeah. He had him on the back foot from the very beginning because he's a hard, sharp puncher and he's very clever. So he puts punches in the right place, and he's so quick to change from head to body, which makes him very, very dangerous.
All right, let's set the stage. A 20-year-old heavyweight storming through the ranks, moving like a middleweight, punching with the precision of a seasoned vet. People slept on him, but not anymore. When you see a kid this fast, this clever, and this composed, it's a warning sign for the division. Don't blink, because he's not just winning fights. He's redefining what it means to be a young contender. Trust me, this isn't hype, it's reality.
Look at that.
Watch this
Look
guy.
at that. That's that Samoan or whatever it is.
Bro, look at the skill. It's the skill, the movement back and
Dillian
forth.
Whyte's no joke either. Dillian Whyte's no joke. Look at this.
It'd be nice if he said his name right. It's Dillian, but
Dillian,
it's
yeah.
all right. Bro, he tuned this guy up. One round, man. I mean, again, Whyte is past his prime.
He's also gotten beat up. White's gotten...
Yeah, sure. Tyson Fury beat him up. A lot of guys
But
beat
this
him
is
up,
the
but
test
still.
you want for this young contender.
It's the way he did it. He
Yes.
did it like, I'm a world champion.
Mop the floor with him.
Yeah,
Didn't Deontay Wilder starts him as well?
I think he's a good kid. I've said in the past that I think he can be a champion, and I do think, just like I said with Jared Anderson, I think Jared and Moses are very, very both good fighters. However, there's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of stuff outside of boxing that makes fighters not achieve what they should have done, and it's the same old story. If I woulda, shoulda, coulda. If I didn't get involved with these people, if I didn't go out and drink, if I didn't get involved with this, that and the other, then I would have if I woulda, shoulda, coulda. That's why I can sit here today and say I always wanted to not be a woulda, shoulda, coulda guy. I am the guy who did everything he could. And they're only starting off a career, so if they can stay on the right path and away from all the idiots, away from the women, away from the drunk.
Here's where it gets serious. Moses Itama isn't just hitting, he's thinking head, body, in and out, dictating the pace. Dillian Whyte, experienced, tough, durable, supposed to be a litmus test. And yet, in one round, the youngster didn't just pass the test, he crushed it. It's like watching a chess master with fists. Everyone else in that ring was reacting. Moses was orchestrating, proving he's got brains as well as brutal power.
7 and tonight, what a night. What a really good show. Even matches, fantastic stories, drama, knockdowns, beautiful boxing. We had everything. I don't know what I'd go out. Remember, obviously, Moses, dynamic, phenomenal, an incredible performance, and we're all sort of wow and excited about him.
Indeed. And then with regards to Moses, obviously everyone's giving him the plaudits which he fully deserves. Did you pick up any weaknesses tonight? Anything that you think, oh, maybe they need to work on that?
He got caught and he smiled. It was just in front of us. Yeah, I think that's good. You're going to get wet in boxing at some stage, and he's had everything go his way. Look, I mean, it was a 95% dominant performance, wasn't it? But it was good that Jermaine Franklin threw a few, and he was really brave in there. He could have sat it out after that temple shot in the third round, but the bell just about got there, and he came back a little bit in the fourth, and Yeah, I just think Moses kept his composure. I think he wanted to get him out of there in very, very quick fashion, maybe in a round or two. And he got back to the corner and Ben just calmed him down and he got back to the game plan. I thought he worked the body brilliantly. He feinted fantastically tonight. I thought he was very aggressive. He stood in front of him. I think he wanted to make that statement, but I didn't see the uppercut coming, so I'm sure Jermaine Frank.
Now let's talk distractions. So many fighters self-sabotage, booze, bad advice, sloppy choices. Moses? Still in the early stages, but staying on the right path. Avoiding idiots, staying focused, and already showing the kind of discipline that separates champions from the also-rans. If he keeps this trajectory, those world titles aren't a question of if, they're a question of when. This kid isn't just talented, he's got the mindset most veterans spend years chasing.
He brute force as a big guy. He used brain. He boxed. That southpaw style, jab to the head, jab to the body, veer the shots like he's on the punch bag, kept his distance, didn't get giddy and excited. And that kind of calm and patience for a man at 20 years old, going into his biggest test at this stage, it doesn't matter what age Dillian was at, it was a case of how he dealt with the pressure and how he dealt with the pace, how he dealt with the situation. Do you remember when Frank Bruno staggered Mike Tyson and he, oh my God, you get excited or you get drunk on the success? None of that from Moses. Moses was cool, and so that probably would have happened at some point because he showed initially in that first minute.
Knockout City. Franklin never saw it coming. Ringside stunned. Analysts comparing him to the ferocity of young Tyson, but the twist? Moses pairs raw power with tactical patience. He's not swinging wild. He's scoring, controlling, dismantling. When Franklin finally threw a shot, Moses stayed calm, returned to plan, and finished the job. That's not luck. That's poise, preparation, and aggression blended perfectly. A rare formula in heavyweight boxing today.
His youth, his pace, his IQ was spot on. You couldn't at that stage was spot on. Kept his distance, used his footwork, in, out, in, jab, boom, and then varied it up, body ahead, dummy to the head, with that southpaw style. So both hands. That's a lot to deal with from a young gun that's there. So you saw Dillian having to back off and trying to regroup himself. But Moses was sharp enough and smart enough to keep his distance, but keep the pressure at the same time. Yeah. So in a way, giving him no way out. And I think how he executed it was spot on. It was bang.
And here's the kicker. One of the defining moments, Dillian Whyte didn't just lose, he got annihilated in a single round. Think about that. Whyte's been through wars, survived top contenders, yet Moses dispatched him faster than anyone imagined. Analysts predicted a tough fight. Nobody expected a one-round demolition. This isn't a fluke or a lucky punch. It's a statement. The heavyweight division just got a serious wake-up call, and it comes in the form of a 20-year-old kid with a plan.
It was always going to happen, and yes, many pundits did predict this to happen, but I'm happy to sit here and personally say that I didn't think Whyte should retire, but they're not saying the same about Derek Chisora. They're not saying the same about plenty of fighters, and they did say the same about Joseph Parker after Joe Joyce beat him, so I wouldn't be so quick to write him off, but at the pinnacle of the heavyweight division, not anymore for Dillian Whyte, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean...
Comparisons are inevitable. Mike Tyson? Muhammad Ali? Sure, legends exist, but Moses has his own identity. He's not trying to be a copy. He's creating his own path, punching with brains and power, backed by a strong support system. Even trainers and former champions can see it. This is a young man who respects the craft, understands the stakes, and is methodically building a resume that screams future world title contender. Ignore him at your peril.
I mean, like everybody's trying to say he's like Mike Tyson. It's a lie. There's only one Mike Tyson. I don't know why we're trying to put his name again with Mike Tyson. No,
he's
Mike
Moses.
Tyson.
He's Moses.
Mike Tyson smokes weed. Mike Tyson is a vicious guy. Moses is not that guy. Mike Tyson didn't have his dad around. Moses got his dad, his mom, his brothers. You cannot compare that. Even in the ring, it's different. Listen. Guys didn't want to fight Mike Tyson. Yeah. Guys didn't want to fight Mike Tyson. You understand? Let me explain that to you, understand? People used to get to the stadiums before they opened to see Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Mike Tyson was different.
I think what Moses was comparing himself being
to
win it at 20 years of age.
I don't care. There's only one Mike Tyson. You got to compare.
Is that right?
I don't care.
I'm with Derek on this. I'm certainly not going to argue.
Moses is Moses.
Yeah.
He's got his own path. So we cannot compare Moses to Mike Tyson.
We shouldn't.
Never. Yeah. Could never do that. Yeah. There's always been one.
Finally, let's wrap this up with context. Being 20 in the spotlight, under pressure, most pros crumble. Moses? Stoic, focused, calm under the microscope of a headlining event. Interviews, media expectations, he ticked every box and then delivered in the ring. This isn't just skill, it's composure that belies his age. The heavyweight division better take notice because this kid isn't just another name on a card, he's a serious force in the making.
Moses Itama is as good as we all think he is. He wins the fight, and he wins it in fashion.
Yeah, Moses Itama, it's almost like they're picking opponents for him already. One of the opponents that has been at least earmarked for Moses this year maybe is Joseph Parker. Let's hear from Joseph Parker's manager and trainer, Andy Lee. This is what he had to say about a potential Joseph Parker versus Moses Itama showdown.
For me, Moses is the future of the heavyweight division. For Moses, it's a risky fight. For Joe, it's a risky fight because there's no upside to beat Moses for Joe. There is. He's building his name. He's a significant heavyweight now, Moses, but he's an up and coming guy, and Joe's already at the top.
Moses Itama versus Joseph Parker.
Of course, I think Joseph Parker is the interim champion. Moses is number one. That title becomes vacant. That's how that fight happens.
Yeah.
That title, Alexander Usyk decides he doesn't want to go in against Joseph Parker because that's the next fight that's been ordered, mandated by the WBO. He relinquishes that title. Then it's a must-happen fight because it's a case of Moses Itama getting the opportunity against Joseph Parker with the world title on the line. So you think that's enough temptation for me to go right now because there's a lot of people talking about don't go too soon and all that, but when you get those sort of opportunities, maybe that is the right fight. I mean, I don't know where you're at on that, Simon, but I think...
Ready for a Joseph Parker? I mean, yeah, if he's number one in the division, the validity of that fight for both fighters sits up on the fact that if the belt's stripped away from Alexander Usyk...
Basically, for the 4 rounds. 4 rounds that Moses was in, it was like a war. And yeah, he's a good guy to be around as well. We enjoyed his company. It's justified to an extent because he's doing what he should be doing. He's knocking out all these opponents in a great style, and people like knockouts, you know. So he win by knockout, gets people's attention. I think, it's warranted, some of the hype. In this day and age, it's always over too much. The criticism too much and the hype is too much on either end of the spectrum. But he's still young and still developing, still has things to learn.
We mentioned a few names. Obviously, we've got like Justice Hooney, Dempsey McKean, Simon Keane, Tom Schwartz. But I feel like it's going to be nice to get a British fight under my belt. So I feel like I'm looking for the winner of Solomon Dakers and David Adley, Fraser Clark. Johnny Fisher did really impress me the weekend. I did not think that he was going to do that against Alan Babbage. And I feel like now he's someone